Welcome to another edition of the Dementia Care Partner Talk Show. Now, here's dementia care expert Teepa and your host, Greg Phelps.
Hello and welcome to the Dementia Care Partners podcast. My name is Greg Phelps, and joining me as usual is dementia care expert Teepa Snow. And Teepa, our topic today is Parkinson's disease. Without going into a lot of detail, there's been interactions with persons living with Parkinson's and various police officers that didn't end up going well. But I'm thinking maybe it's not just Parkinson's. Like when you're experiencing brain change, your world is different and how you may be perceived would be different.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, I wouldn't have initially thought Parkinson's as a primary group of concern. But then when I think about what some of the symptoms of Parkinson's can be, and a law enforcement officer that's expecting somebody to do something in a timely manner, do what I say, get in the car, put your hands behind your back, whatever it might be. What I could imagine is because some of the symptoms of Parkinson's often have to do with both the pace, how quickly I can do something, but even whether or not I can initiate something. Because unfortunately, if I'm either in that space of having Parkinson's and not receiving treatment, or I have dopamine treatment, but it's worn off, then I may not be able to move in the way that they're asking me to move. I may not be able to take in data very quickly, and I may not be able to respond or react in a way that matches what I'm being asked to do. And I may have a very mask-like face. I don't have expression. So it looks like I'm not listening to you. I don't care. I'm not taking things in. That doesn't mean I'm not. It just means I can't show you that. And my speech may be limited. So put it all together, and it sounds like I have somebody who's maybe on drugs or maybe has an alcohol issue or perhaps is being deliberately problematic. And that's not the case. And so if someone were to act on that, like a law enforcement, I mean, that could result in a big outcome. Or let's say I have those symptoms and I'm being treated for my movement problem, but it's causing hallucinations. It's causing visual or auditory disturbances. And then somebody might see me as risky or dangerous. Or what if I have Lewy body dementia? Or what if I have vascular dementia where my processing speed is problematic? Or I have Alzheimer's, but I'm further in my condition and I'm separated from my carer, and you misunderstand what's going on. I may be intent on doing something and have limited visual field and not even know you're there. And you're telling me, put down the whatever it is. And I never even processed that you were doing that. You were behind me. I didn't know you were talking to me. And then you put your hands on me. Oh, ow. So, historically, I've been involved in training officers, some on the idea of dementia and what to be aware of. And that's it's CIT training or CPI. I mean, there's all kinds of initials for it, depending on the group you're with. But there's desire to know. But Parkinson's is sort of a different phenomena. And I'm not sure there's a lot of awareness unless somebody goes outside the box to do it, unless you're a first responder and know about Parkinson's.
Lewy body would present its own unique challenges as well with the potential hallucinations.
Hallucinations and falls. So I find somebody down and I think, oh, okay, well, let me, are you okay? Oh, yeah. Or driving a car and being in the wrong place and then not knowing what to do, or driving the wrong way with a motor vehicle, or thinking somebody's trying to do something and reporting that somebody's trying to break in, somebody's trying to hurt me, somebody's trying to poison me. And so those kind of situations can and do happen with great regularity. My son is abusing me. And it's like, whoa. So I hope that there are more training opportunities for officers, but I know that with limited budgets and limited time and limited personnel, which is the newer thing, we are often putting officers on the street just like we put carers in communities without a lot of preparation for how and what to do in these situations, or even recognize that there is a situation they should be responding to differently.
Now, a few years back, you had put out, can I say the word CD? You
Yeah.
had put that out. Is it
I think it
still
was a
relevant?
DVD, Greg, but one of those initials, like we said, alphabet soup. But it was a while back. It was from a workshop I'd done in Florida, at Pines of Sarasota, with first responders, law enforcement personnel, fire personnel, and it was for EMS, and it was for first responders, and it's for the police, because they were having issues. They are often the front line of awareness. Wow, what is going on here? And they get pulled in, and it also, with limited personnel, takes people away from places where we could use them. And there are some new possible programs that might make a difference, which is you call a different number. You don't dial 911 anymore.
In smaller communities, you might be able to phone dispatch and say, my father, my mother, watch for this, watch for that. But in the big cities, you're not even a number anymore. You're just a micro, so easier to fall through the cracks in the bigger cities, I think.
Yeah, it is. And yet I have had numbers of care partners who've said, I got up with the 911 call center because we've had a couple of incidents, and I don't ever want it to escalate to where they believe they're at risk when they come into our space. We have eliminated all weapons. We have done X, Y, and Z, which is always, potential of a concern when someone is living with some significant brain changes and feels that somebody might harm them or hurt them or come take them away, that we don't ever want to set two opposing forces up and then see what happens. I mean, getting smart and planning ahead and raising the possibility up. It's just, there's so many of these incidents we hear about on mental health issues that I think what's not talked as much about is things like Parkinson's and brain changes of dementia. And we've seen a few, but
is this something that we could talk through with a consultant and sort of get some ideas on what resources are available, or maybe what you should consider doing?
Absolutely. I think whether you're the person who's starting to experience changes and you're curious, what should or shouldn't I do with my local support system, or you're the person who's supporting someone, or you're a community. I think sometimes communities like residential programs or day centers don't make connections in the way that could be the most helpful. So I think having a conversation with us could be a great way to kick off. Here's some options that you could explore. Here's some resources you could offer. And here's a difference you could make, not just for you and your person, but for a bigger cadre of folks.
Teepa, thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
You've been listening to the Dementia Care Partners podcast, brought to you by Positive Approach to Care. For more dementia-related information, go to teepasnow.com.